Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're plunging into something that's, well, it's totally reshapes how we learn, how we work, honestly, how we even think about education, online learning. You probably remember that sudden shift during the pandemic, right? Or maybe just the promise that you could learn pretty much anything from anywhere. Well, online education isn't just some niche thing anymore. It's a global pillar now. But for you, our listeners who are already following this space, the real question isn't if it's important. It's more like how exactly is it changing? What are the key things, maybe the subtleties we're missing? So our mission here today is to pull out the vital insights from this really comprehensive analysis. It's titled El auge de la educación en línea, retos y oportunidades. We'll explore its massive growth, break down the specific challenges, some are quite tricky, and really shine a light on the incredible opportunities, especially now with tech like AI speeding things up. We're aiming to get past the headlines, look at what this actually means for you, both right now and, well, down the road.
Yeah, what's really striking here, and this analysis really grounds us in it, is just the sheer speed of this change. It's not just slow and steady. It really accelerated post-pandemic. And that showed us both the amazing potential, but also some pretty stark realities. The report isn't just theoretical, you know? It gets into the nitty-gritty global access numbers, what's happening specifically in places like Latin America and the Caribbean, and how all these trends are shaping everything from like curriculum design right up to national education policies. It's a crucial way to look at development, at equitable access, globally speaking.
You're absolutely right. Those numbers and the regional details, they matter. So, okay, let's start with what the analysis calls the big paradigm shift and the amazing opportunities that online education has opened up. This is where it gets really interesting, I think. The report's clear. This isn't just a backup plan anymore. It's now a core way of learning, pushing for more, collaboration, critical thinking, students learning more in their own terms. And the proof is just overwhelming. You see massive uptake by institutions everywhere. Okay, let's unpack those opportunities. First up, the big three: flexibility, accessibility, and personalization. The analysis really emphasizes how online learning lets students manage their own time, get access to great resources from almost anywhere at their own speed. And this isn't just about being convenient, right? It actually fosters a more independent and deeply personalized way of learning. Like the study points to platforms like Moodle, showing an 87% satisfaction rate with course content among students in Ecuador, which is pretty impressive. And that satisfaction, it's not just flexibility.
A lot of it comes down to Moodle's multimedia features, making things way more engaging than, say, just a dry textbook.
Exactly. And looking ahead, maybe just to 2025, the role of AI, it's not just tweaking things, it's fundamental. The analysis suggests AI will enable learning environments that truly adapt to your needs, your pace, offering tailored content, smart feedback. Think about chatbots, educational ones that can give instant answers, guide you through tricky problems, like having a personal tutor ready whenever. Plus, AI can analyze all that learning data, spot patterns, maybe predict where a student might struggle, even help refine the courses themselves. So education becomes not just available, but really truly tailored to the person.
That's quite a vision, isn't it? Education that actually molds itself to you. But the innovation, it doesn't just stop at AI. The analysis also highlights things like virtual reality and augmented reality. They're moving past being just, cool gadgets, especially in job training. These immersive techs are used for practical simulations. So students in maybe underserved areas can do complex experiments, practice skills without needing a physical lab. That's huge for skills development, where setting up labs is expensive. Then you've got gamification, which isn't just about making learning fun in a superficial way. It's more about tapping into, like, psychological drivers achievement, progress to boost motivation, keep people engaged. And finally, microlearning, those short, sharp, mobile-friendly modules. They're proving super effective, especially for adults needing specific skills for a changing job market. You get just-in-time learning without signing up for a whole big course.
And what's really clear from this whole analysis is that these aren't just nice-to-haves for individuals. They actually expand reach dramatically, getting quality education out to remote areas, rural populations, places that historically just didn't have access. And that, in turn, cuts down costs. Less travel, less need for big physical buildings, making education potentially more affordable, more scalable. And crucially, students just naturally pick up essential digital skills along the way, which are, let's face it, vital for jobs today just for navigating navigating life. The report also talks about hybrid models becoming really key, blending the online and the in-person stuff. This hybrid approach is great for inclusion, helping students with different needs, maybe disabilities, by offering adaptable ways to learn. And ultimately, yeah, things like free online platforms, they really do help democratize knowledge, breaking down barriers, leveling the playing field for millions.
That's such a critical point, the democratization angle. And it's not only about what you learn on your own, it's also how you learn with others. The analysis really dives into how digital platforms are actually great for collaboration, for social learning. You think about discussion forums, shared project tools, virtual group work. They get peers interacting, sharing different viewpoints. That enriches the learning, plus it helps develop those crucial teamwork and people skills. The study points out that both the live stuff like virtual classes and the self-paced stuff like forums, they both boost engagement behaviorally, emotionally, cognitively. It gets more people participating, and it can build a real sense of community, of support, even online. It's moving past just learning alone.
And if you connect that to the bigger picture, the impact goes way beyond just the classroom. The analysis brings up online education's role in wider societal goals, like environmental sustainability, less need for big buildings, fewer daily commutes, less paper. It genuinely reduces carbon footprints. Plus, it encourages remote collaboration, which changes how we even think about global projects. Also, in higher ed especially, AI is helping democratize access by offering advanced learning tools in regions that maybe lack traditional academic infrastructure. That's a major global issue. So this really supports that idea of continuous lifelong learning, which is essential now, right? Skills get outdated so fast. The report shows how online options make it easier than ever to reskill, upskill, keep learning throughout your career.
Okay, so we've built up this picture of, frankly, incredible potential, transformative opportunities. But like with any huge shift, it's definitely not all straightforward. The analysis is very clear about some really serious issues, problems that have to be tackled if online education is going to truly deliver. So what does this actually mean for making it fair, effective for everyone? The report uses the term significant hurdles, and yeah, the first one is huge. It's the stark reality of the global digital divide. It's just a massive roadblock. You can't ignore it. The analysis says at least half the world's population is still offline. Just pause on that. Half the world can't even access these amazing things we're talking about. Not because they don't want to, but because the basic infrastructure isn't there. The report gives a really sobering example from Latin America. Deep inequalities in access to digital tools, reliable internet, decent devices that actually worsen existing gaps in skills and opportunities. This isn't just people being left behind. It's actively making the gap wider between those who could join the digital future and those who just can't.
And that divide, it's not just about the students having access, though that's obviously critical. Another major challenge the analysis goes into detail on is, well, the lack of teacher preparedness. It's quite widespread, a staggering figure. 40% of educators globally lack the basic digital skills they need to teach effectively online. Now, this isn't about blaming teachers at all. It's a systemic issue. It highlights this urgent need for proper planning, continuous training in ICT information and communication tech to really get educators ready. Because without teachers who are comfortable and skilled in these environments, even the fanciest online platforms won't reach their potential.
That's such a vital point. Teachers are absolutely central. And then you have the difficulties the students themselves run into, which unfortunately can lead to really high dropout rates sometimes. Our analysis shows students often find communication, understanding the material, harder online than face-to-face, partly because you miss those immediate nonverbal cues. And these problems get amplified by poor infrastructure, slow internet, no quiet space or proper device at home, especially lower-income communities. The pandemic, as the report details really carefully, just put a massive spotlight on these existing issues. It drove up dropout rates. It wasn't only tech failures, it was also, the chaos of learning from home, the distractions. And missing that crucial social connection, the peer support you get in the classroom. The mental health impact was real, too.
And this brings up another critical angle. While AI, for instance, offers so much promise, the analysis is careful to flag the ethical and practical roadblocks, too. The report mentions potential algorithmic bias, meaning the AI might unintentionally favor certain groups or learning styles, or even reinforce existing societal biases in its suggestions. Then there are serious data privacy worries, which are huge when you're dealing with student data, learning patterns. Plus, the analysis warns about becoming too reliant on the tech. If we're not careful, it could potentially get in the way of developing real critical thinking, fundamental problem-solving skills. And beyond the ethics, there are big practical issues, like the sheer cost of implementing cutting-edge tech like VR and AR. It's just too expensive for many schools, especially in developing countries. And then there's just the speed everything becomes outdated. Digital obsolescence, devices might only last, what, 3 years on average? That makes long-term planning, sustained investment incredibly difficult. It's a constant chase.
Right. So we've seen the incredible potential, and we've confronted the tough realities, those significant hurdles the analysis laid out. Our sources seem to agree that the path forward needs this really delicate balance. So, okay, what's next? The analysis sums it up by saying that online education's development, say by 2025, it's really about finding that equilibrium between pushing innovation forward and making sure we achieve basic equity. So things like modular learning, collaborative online projects, they can transform teaching. And it's a big, but only if we actively, strategically tackle those challenges. The digital divide, teacher training, all of it. It requires being intentional.
Exactly. The goal, as the analysis puts it, is clear. We need to look at online education not as some temporary workaround, but as a new, lasting educational model, a paradigm shift. We have to really scrutinize what it means for access, for quality, and crucially, for equity. This isn't just about adopting cool tech, it's about using tech to build a fairer, more prepared society, which lines up directly with global goals like the UN's SDG 4 on quality education. And to get there, the report gives some really important, actionable recommendations for making this sustainable. First, serious investment is crucial. In infrastructure, yes, but also in solid teacher training and in policies that are genuinely inclusive, designed specifically to close that digital gap. Second, the future seems to lie in smart hybrid models, intelligently mixing the best of virtual and face-to-face learning, recognizing neither one is the whole answer alone. This also means setting up strong ethical guidelines for using AI in education right from the start, and putting support systems in place, like maybe scholarships for internet access, to make absolutely sure no one gets left behind in this huge shift.
Wow, what a journey through this topic. We've gone from that incredible promise, personalized learning with AI and VR, right into the sobering, systemic issues like the global digital divide, the challenge of getting teachers ready. It's incredibly clear, isn't it? Online education offers this historic chance to change who gets access to knowledge, empower learners everywhere. But it's real, full potential that can only be unlocked if we're thoughtful, strategic about investment, and truly committed to inclusive policies. So here's something to chew on. If half the world is still offline and almost half our teachers lack the basic digital skills needed, how do we get past just naming these gaps and start actively, creatively bridging them? What kind of local, maybe community-led solutions, perhaps small initiatives or different kinds of partnerships? What do you think could make the biggest, fairest difference where you live right now?